It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the tools that you need and resources to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this particular episode, we have the one and only Christopher Gardner, who's in the building. He was talking about how generosity accelerates growth and mindset in business. How are you doing, Chris?
Man, I can't complain. I am so excited to be able to share with the people today and excited to share about generosity and how to empower others. What a great mission that is. I appreciate all you do, Che.
Thank you so much. And we talk about generosity before we get started. Generosity means different things to different people. So can you take a moment and kind of define the context of generosity and what it means as it relates to helping folks in business as well?
Yeah, so I just finished doing not long ago a TED Talk. I've had over 1 million views talking about the myth of scarcity and talking about how we don't live in a world where scarcity is a reality. And the reason that scarcity is not a reality is because if our mind shift goes outside of who we are and what we need, and it's all about us, we truly think about empowering others. We truly think about helping others. Generosity is not about money. Generosity is about mindset. A mindset of impact and impacting others that are around us. And so I encourage people to close their eyes and to think about the two people who have most impacted their life. And after a little while, I ask them to think back to those people who have most impacted their life. And every single one comes back with this story. They impacted my life because of their generosity. Their generosity with their time, their generosity with their talents, their generosity with their love, with their listening to others. So generosity is saying, I'm going to use that which I have to impact the lives of another. And if we do that, we will truly impact the world. We'll make a dent in the world that we're in.
I love it, man. I love what you said there. And if let's talk to the person that says, okay, I heard what he said, Shay, but does he know that I'm in a very competitive field? Does he understands I have a lot pulling at my time right now. And so how do I make sure that I'm not just giving away my business to other folks when he's saying be generous, but man, I got to make sure I have enough for me and my family. They have a scarcity mindset and they shouldn't. So to that person that's listening, and I know all of you are perfect, so I'm probably only talking to one of you out there, but I would like him to talk to the person that really believes there's not enough for everyone. And he said, look, here's 1 or 2, 3 things that he would share with you if you hold that belief. What would they be? So the question is for the person that has that scarcity mindset, 1, 2, or 3 things you would share with them. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get into who he is and his background and all that in a moment. But I want to make sure we're talking directly to you.
Yeah. So everything that in my life that I've been a part of, that I've succeeded at, and that I've succeeded at high levels, that success has always been on the back of being generous with others. I started out in business as a young man thinking about how people could add value to me, how I could sell this contract, but what I've learned is this: as I focus on adding value to others, truly what tends to happen after I add values to others is that the sales come as a byproduct. A lot of times we want to measure the fruit that we've put that we're able to pick. And the truth is that we need to be focusing more on that which we sow. If you sow the seeds, one day you're going to wake up, look around and go, how in the world did so much fruit happen? And it happened because we were focused on sowing. And so if you're sitting there in your seat today and you're like, man, I don't have enough. We cannot sit and cry at the lack of fruit. We can't look around and think, man, I wish I had more fruit. What we can do is we can decide daily to plant seeds that will bear fruit in their time. And if we do that over time, the fruit will be such that we don't even know where to go and what to do with it because we have so much fruit. And so the scarcity mindset says, I need more. And the generous mindset says, how can I add value to those that are around me? And what I have found is that those that add value always have value added to them as well through the people that surround them because they have added value to them.
Wow. And as you're talking right now, there are a number of folks saying, Shay, this sounds good. I'm hearing them. Makes sense. And it's going to make sense as well, sense and sense. But as
Yeah.
he's talking, you might be wondering, who is this Chris guy? Shay, what is his backstory? And then what led him to doing what he's doing now? I think that's a reasonable question. So we're going to ask them. Chris, tell the folks, what's your backstory, man? And what led you to doing what you're doing now?
Man, I tell you, I have the coolest job in the world because I get to sit down with people and help them figure out how to make their business succeed and how help them do well to where they can have wealth that is able to be generous with others. So that's what I get to do. It's the coolest job ever. I come from a strange background though. When I was 11 years old, my dad walked into the house one day and he said, Chris, I believe that God's calling us to the mission field. And so we moved overseas to Peru, South America, where I lived for 25 years. While I was there, I learned what it was like to add value to those who didn't have what I had. And then I watched the success that was given to me by trying to help others succeed. I believe that success is a byproduct of generosity. I believe that success comes when we truly think about how to add value to others. And so I grew up in Peru, South America, moved back to the States 13 years ago, became a wealth manager, a wealth strategist. And now I get to help people with what I call philanthropic strategy, helping others figure out how they've gotten to the point to where they have enough income and they have enough wealth. And now all they're doing is adding zeros to the end of a number that they'll never spend. And I get to say, listen, let's make an impact. Let's live your legacy today, not leave a legacy tomorrow. And when you do that, you're going to truly make a dent in the world. And that's my funnest thing in the world, is to teach people how to leave a dent in the world that looks kind of like them.
Ah, I love it. And what do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days?
When you get the privilege to speak with successful people day in and day out, it impacts your mindset. It helps you to see bigger. It helps you to go further when you get to sit around with people that have been extremely successful. And God's given me the privilege of being able to do that. And so I just enjoy doing that, sitting down with people and saying, hey, what are we going to do to make sure that you do more than leave a legacy, but that you're truly able to live it? And so
Yeah.
it's the most enjoyable thing ever to get to sit down with people. I spoke with a lady the other day who has stage 4 cancer, has no heirs to leave her money to. And we just sat down and we said, what are we going to do? And what's going to be the way that we're going to give away this money in a way that's going to impact in business, that's going to impact in nonprofit, that's just going to impact others that surround me. So literally, I don't know if I get paid to do the coolest job in the world. It's the funnest thing ever.
I love it, by the way, and what a joy that you get to experience. Now, you said being around successful people. There are a lot of folks who are entrepreneurs. Probably 70% of the audience, they are full-time entrepreneurs, and they're working full-time 9 to 5. By the way, those type of individuals are out there that are creating their first $1 million, that are on the path. They're like, okay, I'm not there. We're gonna talk to two people. We're gonna talk to people later who are there and they want to add zeros. But the person is working a 9 to 5 and also chasing their dreams as an entrepreneur. What are 1, 2, or 3 success habits that you've seen from successful people that you've been around that you could share with that person that's watching right now?
Yeah, I would say the number one trait of those that are truly successful, because I do have the privilege of walking people through being an entrepreneur that also has a regular job. I get to help them transition from that into being a full-time entrepreneur. I would say the number one characteristic of those that succeed in business is that they're always learning. They're always learning. It does not matter where you're at, how long you've been doing it. The mindset of a learner is the mindset of a grower. The mindset of a grower is the mindset of someone who succeeds. So always be thinking about growing, always be learning from great seminars, from great podcasts, people like Che that are talking about this. Listen to them and learn from them. Listen to podcasts, audiobooks, read books, watch, don't binge Netflix. Be involved in something that's always going to be growing you, because you have decided to be a learner. I was sitting down with a guy just the other day, 72 years old, has $85 million in liquid assets right now. And I said, "What's the number one key to your success?" And he said this. He said, "I decided from the age of 12 years old that I would not go to bed one day of my life without having learned something new." So find and be around people that you're going to grow from. Look for a mentor. Look for somebody that's going to help you get from where you are to where you want to go. I would say the number one thing is to be a learner. Number two, be a generous person with what you have. You say, "Chris, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of cash flow." Well, congratulations. That's not what you need to be generous. The generosity is a mindset. Learning is a mindset. So learn, be generous, and think outside of yourself. When you think outside of yourself, that's when you truly start to succeed. When you started the program today, you said you want to empower others. Your success is coming from the fact that you're not thinking inside the package of you and only you. Those that think that the three most important pronouns in the English language are me, myself, and I barely make it outside of their own little tiny zip code. Be the guy that thinks outside of yourself. Now, those are the three things that I would say really, really matter.
I love it, man. Thanks for being so transparent with us. And, there are a number of folks that also thinking to myself included, like, wow, you got a lot of priorities. You got a lot of things going on. What is this perspective, Shay, on just being able not to manage time, because maybe you can't manage time, but you can manage your decisions on just prioritizing, because you only have so many minutes in the day. So if the person already feels overwhelmed and has a lot going on, even if they want to do what you said, be very generous, but they only got so much time. How do you manage time and how do you manage priorities so you're able to do the right thing at the right time that's most important to you?
I think you nailed it when you said you can't really manage the time because we only have 24 hours a day, but you can manage what you prioritize. You can manage what you measure. I would tell people that when you're starting a business, it's a lot like a rocket ship. 70% of a rocket ship's fuel is used in takeoff. It's the most difficult time. You're taking off. You're using every ounce of energy that you have. You're using all of your mind, You're using all of your emotions. You're using all of your time to try and get it off the ground. Once you exert all of that energy, the 70% of the energy, once it takes off, literally it's just corrective. It's like poof, a little bit of energy, poof, a little bit of energy. You don't have to use what you used when you take off. So what does that look like? What that looks like is when you start a business, you start by saying yes to almost everything. And then over time, as your schedule gets filled up, that's when you've got to start saying no. Because when you say yes to something, what you have to realize is that when you say yes, you're also saying no. And I tell people I've been married 28 years now. In the month of June, we'll celebrate 28 years with my wife. Um,
Congratulations.
well, thank you. The I do wasn't near as important as everybody thinks it is. What we don't understand is this: the I do is very small in its importance in comparison to the I don'ts. Because when I said yes to my wife, I said no to 4 billion other women in the world going forward. And so, as we say yes to things, we're saying no to others. Learning to prioritize what we say yes to and what we say no to truly does matter. So, be intentional. Know where you want to go, know your pathway to get there, know that that pathway is going to change, and then say no to anything that detracts from where you're trying to get. But be generous in the journey. Be a learner in the journey and give to others while you're doing that.
I love it. We have a segment. It's probably a perfect segue. We have a segment here called "Today is My January 1st." And for those folks that are tuning in every night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you know what we're about to do. You can go ahead and say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks who tune in for the very first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We're glad you're here. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy it is or how bright and sunny it's been, our past no longer equals our future. So my question for Chris on the other side is really two parts. Number one, when he hears those words, today is my January 1st. What does he hear? What does he hear? And number two, when was a time in his life where there was some setback? Maybe his life's been perfect. I don't know. It sounds like he had a perfect life so far. We'll find out. But what was a time that there was some setback or some challenge in his life? And how did you overcome it, Chris?
Yeah. So what I would tell, what I would say about that is today is your January 1st. What a powerful statement that is. I encourage every single person to know where they want to go and then decide what the 3 to 5 actions are every day that will get them one step closer to where they want to go. The truth of the matter is, and James Clear in the book in the book Atomic Habits talks about the fact that where we are today is a direct result of the decisions that we took yesterday. We can't change anything about where we're at today, but what we can do is say this: I will wake up tomorrow on January the 1st, and I will, beyond a shadow of a doubt, do the following 3 to 5 things that are going to help me get to where I want to get to. I could tell you all day long that I want to lose weight. But if I'm not willing to wake up in the morning and work out, it's all a pipe dream. And entrepreneurs tend to suffer from that same thing, is they think that having the dream, think that having the idea is going to get them there. If today is your January the 1st, decide that you're going to do 3 to 5 things that are going to get you closer. They're not going to be comfortable. They're not going to be fun, but they're going to be things that we do to be able to succeed in our lives. We're going to do these things. If I don't want to change the way I eat, if I don't want to change the way I work out, if I don't want to change my relationship with food, can I tell you it's just a pipe dream to want to lose weight? You can listen to podcasts all day long. You can watch videos all day long. You can know all day long. But if you're not going to take those 3 to 5 steps every single day as if it was your January 1st, you're never going to get to where you're dreaming. You're not going to win the lottery and that change your life. You're going to change your life when your daily habits change. So change habits that are going to make a difference on where you want to be tomorrow. We don't need gigantic changes. What we need is small incremental changes every single day that's going to get us to where we want to go.
I love it, man. You heard that before. People form habits and habits form futures. And you're talking about you got to have these small habits, man. I love it. Spot on, by the way. You know, one of my favorite questions to ask, Chris, when we have these conversations and we have time and I'm able to do it is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? Now, he's told so much already, ladies and gentlemen. So I got to frame the context that he's had so many mentors. He's probably read more books than he can remember. I'm not sure how many YouTube videos he's watched. But as you step back and look at it, you had to say, wow, what's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given? If you can go out and grab one and share it with the audience, what would it be and why?
I would say probably the best advice I ever received was this: make sure your B level is right. And when I say B level, what I mean is this: make sure that in the dark, you're not making decisions that will embarrass you in the light. So be the right person. Do the right thing. We do the right thing because we are the right person. We have decided that we're going to live a life of integrity. Be who you are. Don't try and sell yourself. Be yourself. And if you are the right person and you have decided to live the right way, it's going to change everything about the way the world views you. So be the right person. Live a life of integrity. In the dark, in the light, in the daytime, in the nighttime, you will always do that which really matters. That's probably the best advice I was ever given. And I was given that by my dad. My dad said, son, just do the right thing when it's not fun to do. Just do right always.
I love it, man. And what do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world, man? When you're not helping people being generous and doing the things you do? And what do you do when you're kicking back and just being yourself and having some fun?
Well, I tell you what I love. I love watching sports. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan through and through. Love watching me some good old football. Love hanging out with friends. Love being a part of people's lives. I'm telling you, there's nothing in the world that's going to change the world as much as changing the lives of people that surround you. So my goal in life is to always be around people that I can impact their lives. And the funny thing is this, when I focus on impacting their lives, they always impact mine more than I could ever dream to impact theirs. And so I just get to hang around with cool people. It's my funnest thing to do is hang around with people like you and just be a part of what's going on in your life. And when I do that, I find myself fulfilled by watching you be fulfilled as well.
Oh man, that is so special. As we come down the home stretch, two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days, if any? I'm not sure if your firm's taking on any more clients. And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond the time that you and I have now?
Yeah, so I would say I'm always looking for clients. I'm always looking for people that I'm going to work with, not because of my bottom line, but because I know I can add value to theirs. I look for two different characteristics in a client. Characteristic number one, they have to be a builder. They have to be willing to take action to succeed in what they're doing. They have to be a builder. The second thing is they have to be a delegator. They have to understand the value that I add to their bottom line. What I mean by that is this: people as they grow their wealth, they have to understand that they get to a point to where their wealth needs to be managed as a business of its own, and that's what I specialize in. The second thing I would say is this: I would love for you to reach out to me. I'm about the most transparent, open guy you've ever spoken with. My cell phone number is 678-646-4692. I tell people you can reach me by phone, you can reach me by text, you could probably reach me by smoke signals because I absolutely love getting to work with the people I get to work with. And if I'm not the right guy for you, I'm going to always help you find the person that is. So feel free to reach out. My email address is chris@generositydriven.com. Generositydriven.com. Chris@generositydriven.com. I look forward to talking to you. Look forward to bouncing some ideas off and seeing how I can help you grow into the entrepreneur you've always wanted to be. I love helping people reach that point of overnight success, because all your friends are going to say you were an overnight success when they don't understand the work and the hustle and the grind that it took to get to where you were. So I love helping people get to that point to where your friends will all talk about how you're an overnight success. If I can help you, feel free to reach out.
I love it. And people are looking over your shoulder. That was perfect, by the way. And I know I said I was done, ladies and gentlemen, but I know you're all nosy. You're looking over your shoulder, saying it says focus here. You're probably curious, like I am. Why is it's right over your shoulder? I mean, sure. So why? Tell us about that focus here. I mean, is that real? Is that a mirror? What's going on there?
Okay, so I think that focused on the focus here now. And so if you do a zoom in now, you'll be able to see what it says. It says, does it matter? There's two questions I always ask. Question number one is, does it matter? So when you call me and you ask me about what's going on in your business, I'm going to ask you what you're telling me about, does it matter? For example, if you're running a business, you're going to say, man, I had 3 people come in and start the same kind of business now. And I'm going to ask you, does it matter? And when you're going to say, absolutely, it matters. The second question I'm always going to ask you is this: can you control it? Can you control the competition that's come in? And the answer is no. Then stop focusing on it, because it doesn't really matter if you can't control it. I want you to always focus on things that matter and that you can control. When those things that overlap are things that matter and that you can control. In the stock market, the market's dropping and people call me, they go, what do we do now? And I go, the question is, does it matter? Yes. Do we control it? No. What do we control? We control the fact that we can put more money in when the market's down. So the question to always ask yourself, there's 2 questions. Does it matter? Can I control it? If the answer of either one of those things are no, stop wasting your time. Only focus on the things that matter and that you can control. That's true in business. That's true in your personal life. That's true in every single part of who we are. Focus on those things that matter and those things that you can control. When you focus there, that's where you find success in business.
I love it. That's spot on. Well, let me say first, man, thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It matters, and we can't change it because we can change our thoughts. So we can change our thoughts. We all can be more generous. As a result, we all can impact humanity by doing some good in the world. So thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
My friend, you have no idea how thankful I am for people that understand that it does matter, so they're willing to take the action that they can control, which is to start a podcast. This right here, you truly are impacting the lives of others. Your generosity is inspirational to me, and I thank you for being my friend. And I look forward to what's going to happen as you continue to invest in those that are surrounding you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Without you, there is no show. So we appreciate every time you show up. Yes, it's kind of cool when you hit the like button, but what we really love you to do is hit the share button. Like, take this message and pay it forward to someone else so their life can be impacted, their business can be impacted. When you do that, we make a bigger difference in the world. With that being said, I want to remind you, as I do every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I never get tired of telling you that you're amazing. You're someone that's special. You're someone right now that is unique in this world. And yes, you're having an impact. And yes, you're making a difference. And I believe today is your January 1st because of just that one reason alone. Your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Thanks for joining. Thanks a lot, Chris. We'll see you on the other side, man. Peace, everybody. We out.
Thank you.